Hey, what's up, God's people and fellow ambassadors? Welcome back to the Ambassadors channel, where here it is all about motivating you, the people of God, to be true disciples of Jesus Christ. If this is your first time tuning in, I want to say thank you very much for doing so. For those of you who have been following my channel, watching my videos here and then, thank you very much as well. Do me a favor. Watch this video all the way to the end, and don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button, as well as go back and check out some of my previous videos in the past, and let me know what you think about those in the comments section. All right, so today, let's jump right into it. I want to talk a little bit from James chapter 1, verse 5 and 6. Let's get to it. So here it is. It says, if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. All right, so here James is saying, if any one of us want wisdom, and then one of us lack wisdom, just go to God and ask God. Ask God for wisdom, and He will more than likely give it to you. As a matter of fact, according to the scripture, it said He will happily give it to you and give you more than what you're probably asking for, because He wants His children to walk in wisdom and understanding. He will give it, but then there is a catch to receiving that wisdom. There's a catch to even getting that wisdom. He says that if you go to God, that we have to go to God in faith. You know, there's a scripture outside of this that says, he that cometh to God must know that He is God, and that He is the rewarder of them that diligently seek Him. But the point I'm pointing out is, going to God, we must know that He is God completely and confidently know that He is God. And so here James is saying, you know, go to God, ask God for faith. Ask God for wisdom. As a matter of fact, it's not just about asking God for wisdom. This is asking God for anything and going towards God for anything there is that you're having faith towards and you desire for. And so he says, when you go to God, ask Him in faith without wavering. Because when we waver in faith, we will not receive anything from God. Wavering simply means that we're going back and forth. We're going in and out, from belief to unbelief, from certainty to uncertainty. And part of the reason why believers waver in faith and the capability and the ability of God is not necessarily that they don't believe that God, can do it, and God can do anything that God wants to do. It's just that their own inability gets in the way. And what I mean by that is, we sometimes go off our feelings, what we feel like, or what the situation look like. Is it favorable or is it unfavorable? Am I capable? I say to myself, am I capable? Can I do this? Do I have the resource? Do I know the right people? And sometimes we spend a lot of time looking at that right there, and it keeps us from actually focusing on the truth that you really don't need all of that. If God says that you can do it, if God have made it available for you to do it or give you the opportunity to do it, then trust that you can do it, because now it's not in your own power. It's not in your own might. It's not in your own strength. It's not in your own ability. It's in the strength, power, and might of God. Because when we start talking about faith, we're talking about placing it into something or someone. Something or someone. And that something or someone, it should be greater than what you can do within yourself, and greater than your situation and circumstances. That greater one is God. That greater one is Jesus Christ. And so when we put faith in God, if we go doubting, we're actually saying, God, my situation, my circumstances is now bigger than you. Unconsciously, we say that. My situation and circumstances is now bigger than you. So I'm going in doubt. We would still ask God, but we are doubting, and we're doubting because we have this mental idea that it's impossible to do, and we don't know how it can be accomplished. And then we go into prayer, and then we go ask God for these things with doubt in our heart. When we have to be mindful and understand, and always understand, that it's not in my ability, it's not in my strength, it's in It's in God. It's God is the one who's going to make this happen. God is the one who will give me what I need. I may not have it right now. I may not have the resources right now. I may not have the know-how right now, but I am believing in God that he will bring this to me, or he will bring this to pass, whatever that is, whatever the ask is, whatever the I want to do is, whatever he has called you to do and you feel incapable, that you can do it. Just remember that you're not the one who's doing it. He will use you to do it, but he will empower you to do it, but you're not doing it on your own strength, on your own might, and your own ability. So remove that out the way, because that is how we find ourselves wavering and walking in doubt and unconsciously saying to God that our situation is bigger than God. Our circumstances is bigger than God, which means that he's not God. And so it says if we go to God with that in doubt and uncertainty, then we're not going to receive anything. We must go to him in faith. You know, there's a scripture, I think it's in Luke chapter 18. Luke chapter 18. It's somewhere in Luke chapter 18. But there's a rich young ruler who came to God and said, good master, how can I inherit the kingdom of heaven? Basically. And Jesus said, obey the commandments. Thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do that, honor thy mother and thy father. And he said, hey, I have done this all through from my youth on up. And Jesus says, yeah, but this one thing you should do, sell all your goods and then distribute it to the poor. And the rich young ruler was like, that is a hard axe. And he became real sorrowful, and Jesus saw that. And so he began to speak and say, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. And so his disciples all heard it, and they said, then who can go into heaven? Jesus basically said, nobody's going to heaven. And then Jesus says, pretty much is like, oh, hold on, wait a minute, hold on. Hear me out. This is what Jesus said. I'm just saying. Jesus saying, whatever is impossible, it might be impossible for man to do. But whatever is impossible for man to do, it is possible for God. Let me say it again. Whatever you think is impossible for you to do, that you cannot do, just know that it is possible for God to do, because God cannot fail. God cannot fail. There's nothing that he cannot do. And when we're talking about approaching him in faith, we're talking about approaching him from the heart, understanding who he is, the position that he holds, and that he cannot fail. His word will not return to him void. And if I put my faith, my belief mixed with action in him and what he has said, surely it will come to pass in a matter of time if I don't waver. And so, James also used the analogy of a wave being tossed back to and fro in the ocean. And that's a great analogy, because the wave is directed by the wind. Wherever the wind blows, that's where the wave is going to go. It has no set destination. It's wherever the wind blows, that's where it's going to go. And so this is what James is saying. Really, whatever happens, you're going to change your mind. You're going to ride the wave of change, and you're going to ride the wave of change. Where if the situation is good, you're going to want to. You feel good, and you feel like you can put faith in this. If the situation is bad, or you're going to withdraw and not put faith in it. But James is saying, don't be like that. Don't be like that wave who is tossed to and fro. Be consistent, because when we're walking in faith, it's not conditional, it's unconditional. No matter what the condition is, no matter how you feel, no matter how you think, because faith and putting faith in God is not about how I feel. It's not about whether the situation is conducive or not. It's none of that, because I'm not putting my faith in my ability. I'm putting it in someone, which is God, Jesus, that cannot fail. I'm putting it into what he has said, what he has spoken. And I know, based upon what he has said, that his word will not return to him void, but it will accomplish that which he has sent it out to do. If I believe and act upon that which I believe, then I shall have it. And so I just want to share that with you, that be mindful that we're not wavering in our faith. And we waver when we pay too much attention on our situation, when we pay too much attention on how we feel, what people are saying, or what people are not saying. God bless.